Hey YouTube, it's Alicia here. I hope everybody is having a great day. None other, I have a WWE wrestling talk, but this is about none other the women's division and how the women's division is on life support as we speak. And that's just my term of saying since the walkout of Sasha Banks and Naomi, I won't be no further talking about it, but I digress. So I'm going to be talking about some potential storylines that we could be getting right now since we don't have these women, and potential storylines around Queen Sharmell, and this is the time where I believe WWE could take the initiative to put in new title belts and things. So without no further ado, let's get started. So while I pull up the roster, I am going to be talking about, I also will be talking about NXT, and I have to talk about the Sasha Banks and Naomi thing just for a little bit because I have I think everybody has gave their point of view on the Sasha Banks Naomi walkout. You know, I recently did. I'm planning on not doing no update video, but this is not an update video. I'm just going to just give my opinion on it in general, and I will come back at a later date to talk about the men and stuff. So, and I wanted to talk about this bull crap anyway, because we do need to talk about it a little, still need to talk about it a little bit. So y'all, anytime I talk about anything when it comes to WWE, I'm going to give you my point of view. It's my point of view from a woman's standpoint. That's from a man's match and a women's match, men tag team, women tag team, and etc. Okay, so let's see. We're going to start off with Raw. So let me just let y'all know who is all on Raw and where we could go. Okay, so on Raw we have Alex Bliss, Asuka is back, we have Becky Lynch, we have the women's WWE Raw is War Women's Champion Bianca Belair, we have Carmella, we have Dana Brooks, we have Doudrop, we have Liv Morgan, Nikki ASH, we have Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley, Sonya Deville, Tamina. We have all of them. So let's start off with Bianca Belair. As some of y'all know, Bianca Belair will be facing Doudrop at a upcoming show and stuff for a title belt opportunity. I don't mind it. It's somebody different as long as it's not Becky Lynch. No offense to anybody who is a Becky Lynch fan. I'm just like saying we just cannot see the same people every month getting title belt after title belt after title belt. That has always been my scraper with WWE for the past few years since I've been calling them out on that crap. That's just been my scraper with them. It's just, I just want them to give every woman an opportunity. Now I really feel if Doudrop do not win, I really say give that next opportunity to Dana Brooks, please, because I have gave evidence in a Dana Brooks video. WWE's women, WWE, Dana Brooks, and the women's division in general. I did do a video on this where I did do a timeline of several occasions that Dana Brooks was owed a tag team title. Some of y'all fans might not think she is owed a title belt opportunities, but think how many times she has beaten Becky Lynch in the last few years. Think on how many times she has beaten Charlotte Flair. Just think of that. That's what I want y'all to think of, because Dana Brooks, I really feel like this storyline with Dana Brooks and Tamina in the 24/7 championship, that's beneath them in what WWE is doing. With Vince McMahon, you see what Vince McMahon doing. He's making fun of these two ladies that could be powerhouses if he allows them to go for that top title. And I keep reiterating, Dana Brooks has a Joanie Lawler China quality. And I don't see why Vince McMahon don't see that. If I can see it, and probably Joanie Lawler fans probably see it, he could at least listen to us. At least listen. Okay, Tamina, she did have a women's title belt opportunity against Bayley a year or two in 2020. In 2020, I actually remember. Summer 2020. But she didn't win it. She put Bayley over. They always use Dana Brooks and Tamina to put people over, where, hold up, you need to put them over. You need to use people like Alex Bliss, put over Dana Brooks. You need to use people like Asuka to put over Tamina. We're ready to see these two women in that top contention. But the way that you're doing them, that's not right. So I'm just gonna say, I'm ready to see them get title belt opportunities. Now, the next person we have to talk about is, let's see. All right, I think we could get a pretty good couples feud when it comes to Carmella and Corey Graves versus The Miz and Maryse. I'm sorry, y'all. I know Corey Graves doesn't wrestle, but as y'all know, he was a couple of months back. It was rumors that he was cleared to come back and wrestle. So my thing is, would you want to see Carmella and Corey Graves team up to go up against Maryse and Miz? And if that's so, could we get, I really think with that feud, we could get like not a 1 month feud, not a 2 month feud, not a 3, not a 4, not a 5. I think we can get a year-long feud out of that. And for they can like, it's what, June now, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, until WrestleMania of 2023. I think we can get a good month feud, good several month feud with that, leading to a WrestleMania pay-per-view, leading them to be part of being part of one of the wrestling to wrestle at WrestleMania. I think we could get a pretty good month feud. It gives Corey Graves a chance to wrestle with his now wife. So let me hear y'all comments about that. Would you want to see that? Now, another thing I would want to see is, I really feel like we could build a pretty good feud, and let me just say, a pretty good feud between Asuka versus Becky Lynch, because they would not have to be part of the title belt picture, but they're still featured in a way that we don't have to always have them in a title belt. And a title belt, let me say it again, a title belt picture. So it's like, would you want to see that? Because I can actually see that and think, okay, who else did I miss? Zelina Vega. I really think with the Zelina Vega, I do have a storyline in mind for her, but it's going to be in the second part of this video, so I'm getting through this as quick as possible. Now, Sonya Deville, and I can see Sonya Deville versus Rhea Ripley. I can actually see these two go up against each other. I actually can see these two, and I'm going to give you why. So let's start with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is what part of this new faction called the Judgment Day, and it's her and her, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor, who's I think now the new leader. So my thing is, I can see Rhea Ripley and Sonya like just for the women's tag team tournament, just come together for the tag team tournament and stuff. And let's say they be in the tournament, they like is like one of the top three, but then they end up losing and they get into an argument backstage and stuff like that. And they go in and Sonya said, "It's your fault that we didn't win." Da 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 da. And before Sonya can go on an attack, now Sonya is surrounded by Ripley, Finn Balor, Ripley and Finn Balor with Damian Priest. So she's surrounded. And she said, "Who fault is it now?" And she goes, "Never mind." Priest going, and then Priest go and tell Ripley, "It's not your fault. It's her fault that y'all didn't win those tag team titles." So y'all, that's something I can probably see going, and then that going, and then it goes into a two-way a match between both of them, Rhea Ripley versus Sonya Deville, who will get a future title belt opportunity at WrestleMania. It'll be like something like that, like that one of them will get a future opportunity at WrestleMania for the women's title belt against whoever is the women's champion at the time, and whoever is the champion. So whoever wins will get a title belt opportunity. That's something I'm telling y'all. I give y'all key themes, give you key storylines for each person, and now you're getting where I'm going with this. Okay. All right, now let me get to SmackDown right quick, y'all. All right, because we will be talking about Sasha and them closer to the end. So on SmackDown, just to remind y'all who we have Aaliyah. We have Charlotte Flair. We also have Lacey Evans. Raquel Rodriguez, Natalia, Ronda Rousey, and Shayna Baszler, and Sachi and Xia Li. Okay, and Sonya Deville is actually still part of both brands. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So let's just start with Shotzi. I think they could do better by her. I can actually see Shotzi versus Sachi versus Natalia, because I think that would be a pretty good storyline. It don't have to be like a year-long storyline. It can be a 3-month storyline or a 5-month storyline. But I really believe we can get something with that story with them too. Okay, moving right along. I feel like since Aaliyah do have a win, let's say it, do have a win over Natty, I really believe WWE needs to go by finding a way in putting Aaliyah in title belt matches. Giving her in the next few months, just every 2 months, give her a title belt match for the women's title belt. Not tag team, but title belt. But, I really say she probably got something to prove. She can be that wrestler like what Dana Brooks was like almost 2 years ago. It's my, when Dana Brooks did, it's my opportunity. When she was doing that, that's what they need to be doing with her. Even though Aaliyah do have a couple wins over certain women on that main roster, I think it's just like they just build her up and get her into that top contention. That's what they need to be focused on with Aaliyah. Now, I'm just gonna say this. Now, I have to talk about Raquel Gonzalez. Now, Raquel Gonzalez, I blatantly see what WWE's doing. They are trying to make her the next superstar. They're trying to make her the next Charlotte Flair. But you're making her the next superstar, but you're looking over your talent that's already there. And I see that. But the one thing I'm going to say, I respect Raquel Gonzalez's abilities and what she can do. I do respect her at that. But I want to see WWE just don't look over somebody else for her and stuff. Let's see her growth in the next few months, and then giving her title belt status out the bag. And it's obvious what you're doing. Okay, like, when the last time we saw Natty get a title belt opportunity for the women's title belt? Can y'all think about that? It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since she has held a women's title belt opportunity. Not only that, is it strange that WWE look over Shayna Baszler and she has not had a women's title belt reign either when she was on Raw or SmackDown? So my thing is, I want to see what they can do with Natty and Shayna Baszler. Which one of them, they have both of them go up against each other. You have friends, you have tag team partners go up against each other and see who would get a title belt shot for that top title against Ronda Rousey. Because I don't think you will get a good, both of them are friends with Ronda Rousey. So it's like, who's going to get, who deserve it most? So that would be the question for if they ever go against it. Who deserved that title belt most? So yeah. All right. Now we're for the people who I needed to talk about from the main roster. Yeah. And I want to see Xia Li in that top contention for that women's title belt, including Lacey Evans. She does deserves a women's title belt opportunity, but let's not do it at the expense of women. Now, so let's get to the next thing, okay? So the next thing I got to talk about is some potential feud ideas having a lot to do with Queen Sharmell and everything. So one of them I told y'all I would come back and talk about Zelina Vega, and that's what I'm going to do. So with Zelina Vega, as y'all know, she has that Queen onto her name. WWE just smacked it onto her name, and she's using it, but they did not, as I feel, they disrespected Queen Sharmell when they did that and did not give respect to Queen Sharmell. Queen Sharmell is the first queen of the WWE. She has that queen title and stuff like that. And y'all go back, and it's a video. I would try to list the video below. But it is a video where she officially was the first queen in the WWE. This is before we ever got Queen of the Ring. And when Zelina Vega won Queen of the Ring, they slapped the name onto her name. I just feel like if I could see it where, like, Zelina Vega, she's out there running her mouth, being disrespectful. She's like, I'm the only queen in the WWE. And Booker T music played. Booker T go, how you could say you're the first queen of the WWE? You're not the first queen. Meet the actual first queen of the WWE. And her name is Queen Sharmell. And Sharmell let it be known, you don't deserve the name Queen onto your name because you did not give me the respect to actually acknowledge me. And she goes, why should I acknowledge you? Y'all know how cocky Zelina Vega can be. Zelina Vega get cocky with her. She said, I'm going to be looking to see who's going to wrestle you for me because whoever I find will beat you. And whoever, if they beat you, I will endorse them as their career goes on. And I can see her picking the person who I had in mind. They signed with AEW, but we can't use them. But I'm gonna say um I will say, like, let's say Queen Sharmell ended up picking Raw is War women's champ Bianca Belair, and Bianca end up fighting for Queen Sharmell, and Bianca end up winning, end up beating, let me just say, beating Zelina Vega. And Sharmell said, this is the person whose career I am going to endorse for here on out. I'm going to endorse her career and stuff. And she said, you got 30 days to drop that queen from your name. If not, we're going to have a little problem. And then that will lead into Bianca versus Zelina Vega for the women's title belt. Really, where it's like, it will be like a month, building like a month of, is Zelina Vega ever going to be on women's champ? And it's like, that's how I see it. I mean, this is a good feud to go to lead into a Bianca versus Zelina Vega for that women's title belt. So that will be a pretty good thing we could see. Now, so the next one would have been Queen Sharmell versus Charlotte Flair and things. So let's just say Charlotte Flair comes out and she starts making some nasty comments about Booker T, how Booker T don't acknowledge her as queen and stuff like that, and then Booker's try not to let Sharmell go out, but she goes out and they play her theme song. And Sharmell go out there and like Sharmell going, and Charlotte going, what your old butt doing out here? This is my segment. And what happens? Then Queen Sharmell slapped the living crap out of Charlotte and then walk off. And then the interviewer backstage going, Queen Sharmell, can we have an interview with you? She said, surely. She goes, why did you slap Charlotte Flair? She said, when you mess with my king, you're going to mess with the queen. So Charlotte Flair, guaranteed, I will bring somebody here from the indie circuit just to wrestle you next week. And guaranteed, you talk about this royal family ever again come out your mouth, promise you, I got somebody over where your husband worked that will take him out. So like, she can like literally just say, oh, I know somebody in AEW who will take out your husband and your father, since they are at AEW. So it's like, she's like telling them, oh, I know somebody over there that can take out your husband and father. So yeah, Sharmell makes some insinuendos about Charlotte Flair's husband and father and thing. And she said, I know your father real well, and I know your family real well. Your father should have taught you a little bit more about, when it comes to me and my husband, you respect us. I am the original. Before you came along, I was the original queen here. So you bow down and respect the original queen. And Sharmell, let's just say Charlotte feels a certain way about Queen Sharmell coming out there and slapping her. And then all the women going, hold up, you out there. Like Natty comes up to Natty goes up to Charlotte and said, hold up, you was the one out there dissing her husband. You the one went on an attack on her husband. So you don't think she would not defend her husband? So yeah, that is that. And then the third one is, I could see like Sharmell makes a surprising return, like beginning of January. She makes a surprising return. And with her, she has Trish, Lita, Jay. She has Trish, Lita, Victoria, Jacqueline, Nikki Bella, Eve Torres, Tori Wilson, and they all go out and they go, "Hey, Adam Pierce," and they all get out this limbo. They very surprised, and Queen Sharmell, like they said, "Sharmell, what is that? This is not a project that me and the ladies in these bags. Oh, these are just the items that me and the ladies been talking to Vince McMahon about. And the announcement is next." So Sharmell said, "You ready, Jack? You ready?" And they make the announcement that they're adding 2 new titles to that women's division, and it's for it's for the women can have more titles to fight for. They will add a women's U.S. title belt, a women's intercontinental title belt, and Trish decides, all the ladies call out Dana Brooks. They said, "Dana, you have been one good 24/7 champion. You're good, but I think it's time for we give that 24/7 championship back to the men's division. And we will like to actually right now crown you as the first ever women's intercontinental champion right now, but you will go up against a woman later tonight of our choosing." And who's the woman of their choosing? The woman of their choosing will be somebody who is being called up from somebody that's already backstage, or somebody who's being called up from NXT. And everybody would have to do a tournament to decide who's going to be the U.S. champion. That's what I see when it comes to WWE. And now I am going to just give a little bit update of how I really feel about WWE and the Sasha Banks Naomi walkout situation. And I know everybody's probably tired of hearing it and stuff, but I need to just, I did the video about it, and now I'm going to give my true feelings about it. First and foremost, I don't think a company like WWE should be doing any smear campaign against any of their wrestlers. And people has been preparing this walkout to the Stone Cold Steve Austin walkout from many years ago. I actually do remember that as well, but he wasn't punished. Now you got 2 minority female wrestlers, and the company's calling them unprofessional. Is it professional for WWE to paint their narrative of everything? No, it's not. And as we all know, if anybody haven't heard, Naomi did break her silence. She did break her silence, so you have to go find the video. It's somewhere here on the tube. But yeah, she did break her silence on the situation and stuff like that. And I just feel like it's kind of heartbreaking to see the chairman taking, it's kind of sad to see that Vince McMahon is being unprofessional and childish on the situation. Not only that, being childish, but childish enough and petty in pulling their merch. That's all I have to say. To me, it's kind of childish. Y'all can agree, or we can, let's just say we agree to disagree. But even though he is the chairman, I really feel like Triple H should say something and stuff, because let's just put the narrative. What if that was on the other foot and that was Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch that did that? Would they be punished? That's the question. and theme. So that's all I'm going to ask. Would, if this narrative was flipped the other way and it was Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch that did it, would they have been punished? That's the question. Until then, y'all, I'm Alicia. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.